Thanks, Cahir. Thanks, Minister, for taking the questions. And as my colleague, Deputy O'Loughlin, said, there aren't, and I know you know this, Minister, you will not meet a more exhausted group of people in this country than of parents of children with special needs. This opportunity raised by my colleague Thomas Byrne is essentially to allow us, enable us, reinforce some points that you might be missing. They may have come across your desk, but it's our opportunity to point them out to you. To repeat what, or enhance on what Deputy Byrne said, I had 10 pages of notes here, and for people who might be watching, I have a minute and a half in which to make salient points. In my constituency, Dublin 6, Dublin 6W, Dublin 12, again part of that is Deputy O'Callaghan's constituency, until this year there was no ASD unit. So some body is not doing its job properly, and our party leader mentioned really that the role of the old inspectorate to go out into individual schools and say, look, what are you doing, could be really valuable here. So that's the first point. Second point that was raised by parents, among many, is in relation to new schools. You know, never has there been such a big school building programme in the country, but there needs to be surveys of the families in the area done prior to planning permission being allocated, so that schools will know there is a percentage and proportion of children with special needs in these schools, or that will need this school, because you construct new schools with no special needs provision in them. Second point is that if a special needs child joins a school midway through the year, which is often the case, the time then between the school getting sanctioned for special needs assistance, you know, can be months away. So that creates its own anomaly. These are things that you can address as Minister. And finally, a point from a teacher who said to me, I'm a big fan of inclusion. I work with special needs children every day. Constantly question, am I doing the best for them? And colleagues do likewise. I wouldn't be without them, but I do feel we've been taken for granted because no teacher will leave a special needs child behind and not give them the chance to achieve their full potential. But we need more resources and more people involved. And talk to others about access to therapy of any kind, speech, occupational and the rest of it, and the waiting lists are shameful. And final point, when those waiting lists are made, someone I know who got 3 speech and language therapy sessions under the HSE, box ticked, that person's now off the list. They could possibly have needed 30 or 300, but they've been ticked and they're off your government's waiting list for speech and language therapy to wait years before they join the queue at the bottom again. Thanks, Gary.